Greetings, everyone. I read your votes in terms of what you wanted me to speak on for hot topics, and the forerunner is relationship. Now, keep in mind that throughout this year, all the topics are going to be interrelated with relationship, or relationship with self, with others, with our great spirits, with our finances, and so on and so forth. So when you're talking about relationship, you have to tell me what aspect. And if you're talking about man and woman, or marriage, or emotional sort of relationship topics, these questions are going to come from you so I can answer them. So if you have a specific question that you want me to answer, or want me to build a video around, then you have to be clear. Under this video, you can come and you can ask me specific questions, and I might be able to give you more content for today. Okay, but I need your engagement, because as we move forward, we want to make this very interactive, not just me speaking or a soundbite coming from me, but you engaging and really let me see what you are interested in seeing or hearing, because that's what I'm trying to do this year. I'm trying to feel out the new subscribers. I'm trying to give my oldies content that they find satisfying, that makes you want to come back every day, make you want to hear more of what I have to share. Okay. And so the only way I can do that is for us to do together as a community. And this is what this is. This is a community for me. And hopefully it's a community that is diverse in our thinking, in our race, in our class, and all of that. Now, I'm going to give you a little something as it relates to relationship. I'm going to give you three of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships. And, women, I know I have a lot of women watching, and, as a woman myself, I tend to think about the things that are important to me, but I also have men that watch and support me all these years. Big up yourself to all the male that just stick with Jenny all these years. No, the first big mistake that we make as people or individuals in a relationship is that before we even get into a relationship, we don't define what it is that we're looking for in another person. And some of us, we have a list. And I'm not going to ever tell you that your list doesn't make sense or it is too high minded. You must know what is best for you and what you desire. And even with those lists, we often get to the point where we're so desperate that when we find someone who does not fit the profile or does not fit the things or the requirement that we're looking for, we compromise. Do not compromise on your standard. Otherwise, don't set them. So if you say to yourself, I need a man that is respectful, or a woman that is respectful or kind or compassionate or trustworthy, and then you meet someone, and because he or she is good looking, and he and she, is providing you other external stimuli, you say, okay, well, is or she is a little bit dishonest, but you cannot compromise on your values, the goals that you establish for yourself. At no point is it okay for you to say, let's set that aside. So because you're not sticking with these goals, or you're not sticking with these expectations, you end up entering into relationships, making one of the biggest mistake in saying that, well, he doesn't have this, but he has this. She doesn't have this, but she has this. And therefore, I'm going to just accept that. Never become desperate to be in a relationship with anybody. The only person you should be desperate to get into a relationship is with the Most High or yourself. Okay? And so if it's not what you're looking for, step aside, carry on until you meet that person. Number two, never gossip about your partner with anyone. And when I say gossip, you're going through a really difficult time in your relationship with the person that you say you love. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times when things are happening. You can find one or two persons who you know within yourself is going to be a person who is going to encourage you to work out your differences. We're not talking about major thing like violence and, verbal or whatever abuse. We're talking about sometimes misunderstanding. Sometimes you have an older woman or an older man that you can sit and say, this is happening and I don't know what to do. And this is when you want your relationship to work out, but you're having an impasse. You're having a situation that is threatening the relationship. And this person, my sister, is one of those. There's three person I know. My sister, a very close friend, and another person who I consider to be a spiritual mother, Rani. I know that if I come to these individuals and I was to speak on anything that is troubling, nothing so private and intimate, but just a misunderstanding or something where we're both digging our heel in and we just want a tiebreaker. We know these women are people who are going to encourage us. These people love us individually and together, so they will never give us bad advice. Don't go to people and say, "Oh, he's so lazy," or "Oh my goodness, he's done this or done that." The person you intend to stay with, you don't gossip about that person with anyone. Because oftentimes, after you're done gossiping about your partner, you forgive the person because at the time you were just ranting, and you forgive the person, and the person you confide in will never forgive that person. They know that, you knew he cheated and you tell your best friend, and when you forgive him and you're moving on to the next chapter of your life, the best friend will not let that go. So you don't gossip about your problems, about your intimate situation with anybody unless you know that person and it's not gossiping in that case. It's going to encourage you to work your differences out. Number 3, accept your partner as they are. For example, when I met my partner, as I said before, when I see something that's annoying and I say, if this does not stop, I can live with it. Therefore, I now say and already allow for that person to be themselves. If you go into a relationship trying to change people, that person is a liar, that person has bad hygiene, that person is, lazy. Let's just use these common excuses or examples. You have to say to yourself, if this never changes, I can live with it. If over a period of time you won't be able to tolerate it, then you should not enter that situation. Don't try to change people, accept them as they are. And if the way they are is something that's going to trigger you, cause you to become stressed, and, or be distressing anyway, then you don't enter that. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are someone who can have the things that you're asking for in your partner, but don't be asking for things in your partner that is not found in you. So you can't just go to somebody who's kind and loving and honest and respectful, and you are not. So whatever you ask of another human being, make sure that you're able to provide that to yourself and to the person that you're asking. Because sometimes we ask that our partners be respectful to us, and we are very disrespectful. We don't have any respect. We really justify saying every and anything to our partner because we're angry. We're all guilty, but we can't say because we are doing it that it's okay. All right. So when you are able to be honest with yourself, when you're able to put value on yourself, when you're able to say, I'm not going to compromise. When, I'm not saying realistic, because if you say you want a king, then a king you will have. If you say, I want to be with someone who is poor and unambitious and whatever, you can't say that's what you want and then you settle for the other. Okay? We are the ones who have the power to drive this relationship vehicle. And a lot of times when we come to criticize or condemn our partner, we signed up for that. And at the very end, we get very angry when we're not getting it. You see what is in front of you. Stop trying to make it into something that it's not. Look at what you see and decide there and then, this is what I want or I do not want. And you can't allow loneliness. You can't allow desperation. You can't keep telling yourself the clock is ticking. The clock is going to tick with or without that good or bad choice that you make. Okay. So, hopefully this is helpful. Now bring me your nice juicy questions. Do not be afraid. There's a part of myself that you don't know. When it comes to topics related to intimacy, I'm with it. Stay blessed, everyone.